Alrighty guys, good to have you back on the first video of 2023 of NieR Reincarnation, and today we have the New Year's banner live with Marie, Theo and Yurie. Who would have guessed that these three are the lineups for New Year's? That's exciting. I know a lot of people out there are really happy with the selection, especially Kabata for the Marie portion of the player base and maybe Ziggy for the Yurie side. He can't show his excitement yet because of the gem stash, but maybe that will change through his wallet. Who knows? We will see. Anyway, let's have a look at banners and more specifically on the units, okay, in this video, and I'll give you my advice, my opinion about what will happen with them, and maybe you can take something away from that. So let's jump straight in. First thing, the paid step up banner is actually not that bad. Could have been better, but let's have a look. Step 1, 4-star appearance rate times 1.5 for 2000 paid gems. Step 2 and step 4 are 10 times summon for free. And step 3 is also a 4-star appearance rate times 1.5. And the 5th step is actually a double appearance rate for 4 stars and the 4-star guaranteed in 10th slot. That 4-star is unfortunately can be a weapon only. So when we have a look at the rates, we can see the 10th shot at step 5 has a probability of 40% for a character and 60% for weapon only. The character is guaranteed to be one of the New Year's units, so there's that at least. The exchange is at 150 charts, and the paid step-up banner doesn't share a pity with the normal banner, so unfortunately you can't do like 30 pulls here and 170 pulls on the other banner and then exchange for a unit. That doesn't really work because the shards are different. That being said, the free banner doesn't have any step-ups. It's a generic banner introduction for new units basically, so no discounts, no step-ups, and the exchange is at 200. That's a bit unfortunate, but at least the New Year's units have a decent rate up. So let's have a look at their abilities and what their character special actually brings to the table. We start with Marie. Marie looking like a support from judging from the stats, with the in the recent releases showing that the attack stat goes up a little bit for these support units, and she's actually arena specialist. Flowering Fortune: increase all allies attack up by 15% for 45 seconds and increase all allies light damage dealt by 15% for 45 seconds. Reduces skill cooldowns for all enemies by 15% when own affinity is light, and it's usable from the start of the battle. So another unit that has an instant cast character skill when you enter the battle. This is of course especially interesting for arena, and this opens up really good possibilities for this Marie being a very good support unit for your CDR team actually. The idea here is to give her the subjugation staff as main hand, and because it's an off type weapon for her, her character skill casting will be reduced by a millisecond basically, so you can benefit from having the cooldowns for all allies reduced by 15%. I'm not quite sure if it's really a big difference in arena, but it's there and you have to play around with her a little bit to get all the strength of this character, but definitely a very good unit, and even some PvE capabilities as a light support, because we only have one light support. We have New Year's Rion, and he's not that good to be honest, and this Marie having attack up buff, light damage dealt buff, and reducing cooldowns for all allies while having a Sea Gorge character skill is actually pretty good. So I can see her being used in subjugation as well. a very good unit overall with the character skill already. But have a look at her abilities as well. Valiance, all allies attack up by 20%. This is insane. This is more attack for all the units on your team. This is a very good support ability. She also has Lucid Verve, increases the attack of equipped light weapons by 40% for whole party. So you want to go for a mono light team most likely when you have her on your arena. And her third passive is Fleetfoot, giving her 15% more agility for 60 seconds. Actually very good. Marie doesn't have any rank agility, so that helps out quite a bit on her. And the debris is Fleetfoot Chunk, 15% agility for 60 seconds. So basically her third awakening there packed in a debris. Quite nice to be to have in arena, definitely. And if you thought this character is already pretty good, have a look at her weapon, Blade of Early Spring. This is basically the Titan Sword 2.0. So Titan Sword is officially dead now because this weapon replaces it without any problems. The first skill is at 16 seconds cooldown, 50% times 5. And the second cooldown, the second skill is at 14 seconds cooldown with 55% damage times 4. So 14, 16 seconds cooldown while having Lucid Boon, 30% more damage from light. And agility up by 20% for 60 seconds. So this is an awesome main hand weapon for one-hand sword user like Silver Snow Claw, basically the same level. Maybe even a bit better because the damage multipliers are a bit higher on the skills there. So very, very good weapon for arena. Definitely can't recommend it enough to use that on your one-hand sword users. You probably won't use that on Marie for herself because when she has a preferred type weapon, her character skill casting actually is quite long and you don't get any benefit out of the 15% decreased cooldowns for the party. So that's why you want to have an off-type weapon, and subjugation staff is actually preferred for this. The next character on the banner is New Year's ruler, Yurie, rocking an attack over 9,000. That's actually quite a lot. And she's a wind specialist. She is very similar to Abstract Judil. And let's have a look at her character skill and you can see what I mean here. She deals 300% damage to one enemy 5 times and damage up by 50% when own affinities wind, increases your attack by 15% for 30 seconds. So that is actually over 2,000% damage from her character skill alone. So another Yurie that hits really, really hard, but it's somewhat locked into wind. So she is like the 4th element specialist attacker after Sinualis Akiha for fire, Yuletide Priet for dark, Yuletide Griff for water, and now she's there for wind, so we need one for light, and maybe we get that during the 2nd anniversary. Her abilities are Vigor 25% more attack and Whirlwind Pursuit, so that is the same ability that has Abstract Judil, 50% more damage on chains of attacks, 4 or more hits, while equipped with a wind affinity main hand weapon. So you only get this bonus if you deal 4 hits with Yurie, and it has to be a wind weapon. So perfectly fitted for the subjugation gun. That is actually insane for arena, but also very good for PvE when you want to have her in your team along with the subjugation wind gun. Her 3rd passive is training, again helps a little bit in arena with auto attacks when you build her as an agility rusher, and her debris is actually the best one out of the batch here. Tempest Boon increases wind damage by 25% for 60 seconds, also very good for arena. So this unit all around is king for wind teams. Outside of that, actually not that great because the 2nd ability here is locked behind a wind affinity, but still very, very good unit, and Pay attention to her when you face her in arena. Her weapon is actually quite cool. Has a blitz on skill 1, 85% times 5. It's not the best, but it's still usable. And the second skill has 400% damage with a wind boon, 30% for 15 seconds. So that is quite good. But the passives are really, really good here. Tempest boon, 30% increased wind damage, and a 15% pursuit on chain attacks of 3 or more. Yeah, this weapon is quite good all around. Nothing special. The passives are really good, but the skills are not that great compared to EX weapons. But yeah, like I said, as a sub weapon, very decent. And the last character here is NieR's Theo. And NieR's Theo is like the second iteration of Celeb Gale already. So we had Celeb Gale, then we had Celeb Marie, and now we have NieR's Theo. And by having a look at her character skill and abilities, you quickly realize why I say that. Her attack, to begin with, is almost 9,000. That is actually pretty good. And her character skill deals 170% damage 4 times and reduces the defense by 30% for 30 seconds of the enemy, of course, and increases damage of 2 times or more chains by 30% for 30 seconds for all allies when own affinity is water. Okay, so what does that actually mean? When you use her with any affinity except water, she is like the same as Celeb Gale, really. She has a bit lower multiplier on the defense down, only 30% compared to 50, but the damage is comparable, at least. And the god level is C, so that is actually pretty nice. But when she is a water affinity main hand weapon, she excels a lot. Okay, she giving a NieR buff to the whole party for 30% for 30 seconds is actually insane. That is so good. She will damage cap with her auto attacks or with weapon skills so easily. That is I have no words. She's a water specialist, yes, and when you have her with a water weapon, she will deal a lot of damage. Her abilities are Valiance. All allies attack up by 20%, so this is a very good support ability actually, but it's also for herself. So like Celeb Gale has 25% vigor only for herself, and Theo has 20% Valiance for all allies, so that is comparable. And the second ability of her is Bold Vigor, damage up by 40% when HP is above 70. So this is the same as Celeb Gale and Celeb Marie. So she has a support-orientated ability and a damage enhancing passive for herself. And that really goes to show that she's not built as a support unit, even though you might be thinking that from the character skill and the first ability, but she's really a very good DPS unit, especially for water, because of the NieR buff on her character skill when she's a water unit. Her third passive, that's actually quite bad, Ice Water Rush, increases the stats by 20% only. So she's very much usable at Awakening 0, really. You don't need to get her to Awakening 3 because she doesn't get anything good there. And even her the Beery is not the best. Vigor attack up by 15% for 60 seconds. You don't really need this. This unit is perfectly valid at Awakening 0 and a very good DPS unit. Let's have a look at her weapon real quick, Tamari of the Stars. It's comparable to Yuletide Griff's weapon, and we see that when we look at the abilities, but the skills first. We have a defense down 30% for 30 seconds and inflicting a crush debuff on the enemy, 15% more water damage taken for 30 seconds. The abilities are Liquid Boon 30% and Bold Vigor 20% more damage when HP is above 70. So very good sub weapon for a DPS character, but you can also use that on a support character with the defense down and the crush debuff. So nice weapon to have for water. And then we have it. These are the New Year's units. Marie, Theo and Yurie looking sharp. Are they worth it? I would say yes, they are very good units. Marie is very good for arena. She's like something that we haven't seen any time before her, with reducing the party cooldowns of the team. So to say, a light specialist to have, a really good user for the subjugation staff. And I'm interested in how she can change the meta a little bit, because mono light teams, they are not really there yet, but with her maybe they are. We have abstract Yurie, who is also pretty good with light weapons. And then there's always Sino Elisariu and maybe Fractured Noel with Phoenix Lance. So there are some options. I'm very excited to see what other people will use her for. Theo is a very good DPS unit, attached to water a little bit, but even usable outside of water, really. And Yurie is the wind specialist attacker we have now in the game. She's very good as well, but unfortunately we also have Celeb Yurie, which is like an all-around god tier DPS unit. So that is a bit of a shame, but if you want to have all Yurie costumes, you can't get away without her. Unfortunately, I won't be able to pull here because, as you can see, I don't have any more gems or tickets to spend, and second anniversary is right around the corner, so I have to be very cautious when it comes to spending my resources now. And I'm looking forward for second anniversary. But don't get me wrong, this is a very good banner with very good characters on it, and there is nothing wrong in pulling here, especially if you sim for one of the characters. They look all very awesome, they are very powerful, and you can be happy to get any one of them. But yeah, hopefully you get all of them, okay, if you pull here. Let me know in the comment section down below, did you pull on the banner? Did you get lucky? Did you whale for any of these units? And what do you think about them? Are they really, really good? So last year we had 06 Yurie as a meta-defining character for PvP. Maybe Marie has the same capabilities. I'm not quite sure yet. Unfortunately, I won't be able to test her out, but I'm sure some people will. And maybe you're one of them, so please let me know. Other than this, we will see each other in a couple of hours again, because when the new day reset kicks in, we actually get new features like mama points, more information on that, and all the goodies we were promised to get in game. So I will make a news video in a couple of hours as well, so stay tuned for that. Until then, have a nice rest of your 1st January of 2023. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.